Alright. Welcome to X Family Anime Review episode number 38. We are here reviewing the 47th episode of the series, which is one of those rare times it actually has 3 titles. Yes. I think, let's see, you have Austin's Trouble, A Normal Mixer, and Moon Landing. Yes. This episode adapts from chapters 77, 79, and short mission number 10. You're like, okay. So basically, it's like, kind of in a way, it's like each segment here. By the way, the short mission, this actually happened for the post-credit scene, because so here's kind of what happens. So we have this guy named Austin, who is one of the teachers, who a teacher was traumatized in the previous bus trip, and he's screaming a lot, and he's annoying his wife. So he pays a visit to Lloyd, and we do see Fiona here, which of course basically she calculates how much she spoke with Lloyd, because she is obviously in love with him, but he doesn't know. The only person who does know the fact that Fiona is in love with Lloyd is, I kid you not, Anya. She's the only one who knows, because she read her mind. Yeah, so, and the whole thing of this first half of this episode is trying to get Lloyd helping Austin, just trying to get him to stop shaking, the fact he's screaming, the fact he's afraid of course, he thinks that the way he's acting is actually because of the terrorist. No, it's actually because of his wife. And there's even some hypnosis he goes through. Eventually, he goes home and he's starting to feel better. Of course, who knows how long this disturbance is going to last for. But that's kind of the first segment of this episode. The second half of the episode focuses on Yor, where she is at the office. By the way, also, before I continue with this, for some weird reason, I'm not sure why this anime did this for, where 77 is actually the penultimate chapter for the bus hijacking arc. But you think, oh, well, they adapt 78, which 78 was the final chapter of the arc. But once again, they skipped it. You're like, what? They skipped it? Yes, second arc in a row for this anime, they skip adapting the final chapter. The reason for this, I have honestly no idea. Because it is just plain weird. I'm guessing, and this is my personal hope anyways, maybe they could, I don't know, maybe adapt the final chapter of Bus Hijacking Friendship Scheme Arc. If I were the studio making this one, I would adapt those last chapters for the final episode of the season. But again, in fact, we only have 3 more to go. Who knows? By the way, this episode starts adapting. The arc it has here is the Wheeler arc. An arc that is 10 chapters. So the whole thing is basically you're at the city hall typing, and then eventually after work, all the girls go out to this bar, and of course about Lloyd, and apparently, like, nothing much here. She fantasizes about killing her husband. It's a very strange scene. Then she goes home and starts blushing in front of Lloyd. Implying the fact despite their marriage actually is a sham, it's a fake marriage, that she may actually have feelings for Lloyd. Possibly. But then, of course, we do briefly see Anya, the character who this whole series is a lot of events about. Her appearance in this episode is nothing more than basically a 10-second cameo. And that is not the studio's fault. That is the manga's fault for that. Yep. Oh, and the post-credit scene is, we do see Anya briefly in the post-credit scene where, there's a moon landing happening, which is probably a nod to the moon landing of the 60s. because this whole thing is basically now to the old school Cold War, and it's brief. It is like 30 seconds, and this whole last little bit, it lasts for like 1 minute. It is like 1 minute short, and this snapped roughly just 2 pages. Yeah, 2 pages. We're like, oh, the whole thing about and of course Damien wants to become a politician. A lot of people go on the moon, and that's kind of it here. That's all that happens over the course of this episode. And with that, basically, I am caught up with all my anime that I review on Saturday. I'm like, wow, I got all of it done. So tomorrow I expect to see reviews. Well, probably later on in the evening, because basically I'm having my extended family come over tomorrow for early Christmas, because my mom doesn't want to do like overwhelm for Christmas Day, because basically they want to have their own stuff because they have their own family. So we're doing it tomorrow, and then Christmas Day probably the immediate family per se. But in the case of reviews tomorrow, well, hopefully expect reviews for One Piece, One Punch Man, to GM Wants to Become Writer, probably a couple of Comic Corners, one of them have been the 3400th episode of the series, and Kamen Rider. Yep. But see you all tomorrow. Bye.